Welcome to the Incredible channel. My name is Benjamin Kwak. Let's learn something new together. Today we will be talking about the Azure SQL Trigger for Functions, which is currently in the preview state. But yeah, that's a nice feature that allows us to automate the flow when we insert, update, or delete the row in the SQL. Previously, it was working, for example, in Cosmos DB, but yeah, it was also needed in the SQL. So, how does it work? So, first of all, it is getting the list of changes on the table, while the change tracking is set to on in the SQL. We'll talk about it later in the demo. So the SQL trigger batch is the setting that defines how many changes can be set to the list when it's been triggered. So by default, it's the 100 changes. We can change it, but yeah, by default it's 100. So every time, in this case, every 1 second, because the trigger goes every 1 second, because the SQL trigger polling interval is by default set to 1 second. So it's like the cron, yeah, that it's being triggered every 1 second. Yeah. So first of all, it gets the list of changes, then triggers the function, and waiting the time defined in the SQL trigger polling interval by default 1 second. So yeah, first of all, we need to turn on the change tracking in SQL, and then we'll configure the Azure Function app in C#, but it's also possible in PowerShell, Java, Python. Depends in what stack are you in. So let's go into it. So I have prepared new SQL database and server. We are going to create new table named Incredible with ID, not null, because we need to make the primary key, so it can be null. Okay. We've got the table. Okay. So now we will need to add the primary key. Into the ID column. Okay, then we need to do this code. Whoa, what happened there? Okay. So from the beginning, now we need to set the change tracking to on. So we need to write such code with the DB, and we are going to set change tracking to on. And we need to also set the change retention. Let's set it to 2 days, and auto cleanup on. We'll have the logs for the 2 days, but when it will be successful, then it's auto cleanup. Yeah. So if you want to be sure that the logs will be there for 2 days, every log, so don't turn it on. All right. Yeah. So okay, now it's set on the wall database, but now we also need to enable the change tracking into the table. So to our new created table, we need to enable change tracking. Right. Let's do that. Okay. And let's insert example data. Oh no, let's just leave it empty for now. So right now we are going to create a new project in the Visual Studio, and it will be Azure Functions. Let's name it Incredible SQL Trigger. Let's leave it empty right now. We have the SQL trigger. Okay, so we can do it from here. Okay, so SQL trigger. We had option to add connection string name directly from while creating, but I've forgot to write it there. So let's name the connection string, which we will then set in the local settings, right? So SQL connection string. Yeah. Now I will set it there. Okay, so it's pasted here, and we can go back to the function. We can see that we need to install the package in the project. So Newtonsoft.json. Let's install it quickly. Okay. Yeah, so we need to set our table here, right? So let's name it the same. We had the int ID. String first name and string last name. Is it correct? Yeah, should be good. Okay, so it's set. Now we can turn on it. Okay, so in the trigger we have the table name. Oh yeah, table name, right. So we need to also write it here. And we have the name of the connection string, then incredible with the name of the table, and the log information. So we will see some kind of information when we will insert or do any changes into the table. Let's turn the console again, and we will do an insert. So insert into incredible values 1 Benjamin Quack. Yeah, and as we can see, the SQL changes. The operation 0 means insertion, so it's correct. Yeah, so this is a simple example of how does it work. If you have any questions, you can put them at the section of the comments. Please like and subscribe, and see you again next time.